Welcome back from that break, and let's introduce our next guest as we look to engage further on the state of the nation. I'm joined by the National Secretary of African Action Congress, Ina Okopi Agu, who joins us virtually. Good morning to you, sir, and welcome to the program.
Good morning. Nice to be with you. Thanks for having me this morning.
Always a pleasure. My first question is the AAC a part of the coalition?
Absolutely not. We're not a part of the coalition. The coalition that we are currently building is not a coalition of the elites whose sole purpose is for elite bargain. Our coalition is with the oppressed people of Nigeria, people who have suffered in the hands of bandits, insecurity, hunger, and starvation. Poor quality living standards. That's the coalition we're building across the country. Thank you.
How do you intend to get this coalition of the oppressed? I know the current party constitutions make it mandatory for registration. Or are you saying that that would just be for having them on the end of the electorates? How do you come about a candidate who would resonate amongst the oppressed?
Well, I think that if you look at the party, the way we're constituted and are spread across the country, we have constantly sided with the oppressed people of Nigeria, fighting for their rights, places where rights have been abused by the authority, especially the police and other arms of government, especially the security forces and the paramilitary, where they've oppressed Nigerians, we've stood up for them. Currently, there's a push by the national chairman of our party to ensure that the people of this country, especially the police, get a fair deal for what they work for. And so currently, there's a push for an improvement in their living wages. Well, it is our belief as a party that what they currently earn as the police force is a slave wage, and it is hoped that the authorities will do the right thing and pay them a living wage. And so, to answer your question more directly, the coalition we're building is a coalition of the oppressed. And then we're doing all that by working with the people in the grassroots where Nigerians have been seriously abused, especially their rights trampled upon. We rise up to the occasion to ensure that they get justice. So that's the coalition we're building. And the people are taking note, by the way. So that's what we believe. The people who would vote, the people who would be the beneficiaries of a good government, who are currently suffering under the current system, the kind of coalition we prefer to build, not a coalition with the elite.
Now, I want to find out about party activities. Have there been any recent NEC meetings, and is there a possible date for the party's national convention?
Oh yes, we had an NWC meeting around 3 weeks ago, and there are plans to get that running, and so yes, that would happen very soon. Yes.
Now, one of the other news, in spite of the recent political maneuverings, is a recent application on the desk of the electoral umpire INEC. Over 120 parties, organizations rather, are looking to be registered as political parties. In your view, what does this portend for the political landscape in Nigeria and our multi-party system?
Well, if you recall, before the 2019 general election, we had close to 90 something political parties that were eventually, a lot of them were eventually deregistered, and what we're left with today is about 19 political parties. Now, the challenge is this: Nigeria, by our own style of constitution, is supposed to be a multi-party state. But what we also must worry about is the fact that how many of these political parties are actually fit to actually run. It's very important for us to also look at those facts. When political parties, there's a proliferation of political parties across the land, and then you find people whose only reason, or parties whose only reason for being in the race is to negotiate their position, endorse other parties, then it becomes a problem. But the constitution allows for INEC to register as many political parties as possible. Now, to your question, there are about 120 in the last consultative meetings we had with INEC. I don't think it will even end at 120. There are more requests coming in, and there are timelines set by the Constitution and the Electoral Act as to how INEC is supposed to carry out these activities. I think that's ongoing as we speak, but our Constitution supports it. The challenge is, when registered, do they actually now respect the fact that they are political parties and then participate in races without turning their platform into people who are willing to buy them out, which is a sad thing, by the way.
Now, whilst you wait to set the date for the National Convention, I'd like to address some issues in the past and how the party intends to address them ahead of 2027. For one, is the partnership with the PRP. I know in 2023, the AAC and PRP had to form some alliance in the emergence of Omoyele Sowore as the joint presidential candidate. Is that arrangement still tenable going into 2027?
Well, that arrangement for 2023, the terms of that arrangement, they didn't say that in future elections we're supposed to still continue with that, but then it is still open. They are still our friends, and there's a need for that. We'll reach out, and I'm sure that we're also going to get other people to side with us in the next election, because we believe we're the party to beat, even though the elites would prefer that we don't even exist. But that partnership is still possible. Not just PRP. There are other parties reaching out, I can tell you that. And at the appropriate time, we're going to come out to make this public.
The other angle from history was the supposed breakdown in relationship between a number of AAC gubernatorial candidates in some states at the time, and the choice of Omoyele Sowore as the presidential aspirant at the time. The news and report making the rounds at the time was that there had been some fallout and those candidates had withdrawn support for him. Have those issues been amended upon? Are there still fractions between those candidates or party members within the AAC, as it were, and some leadership in the NWC?
I can tell you this for free. As National Secretary of the party, I think you should trust me when I give you some facts. The individuals you mentioned were governorship candidates on our party's platform. But once they came in, and by the way, they got these tickets free of charge, what they didn't know was that somebody was snitching on them, one of them, and they kept giving us information. Their plan was not to run to the end. Those guys came into the party to negotiate with who they think would win the election in 2023. And so the intelligence that got to us was that they were planning to either go to Atiku Abubakar or go to see the current president when he was a candidate to negotiate and get paid. And when that sinister plans were uncovered, the parties NWC got together and then decided, man, you guys can't. We don't think alike. So it is even wrong for you to refer to them as our party members, because before the elections they were summarily
so they no longer
expelled from the party
cards of the
AAC. No, hold on. Let me finish.
Carry
they
on.
were expelled by their state chapters, and recently one of them came up in Enugu and was seen to be endorsing the ADC coalition. And we went in there to remind him again that he's never been a member. He was expelled because he was trying to bargain with the ticket. He wasn't really interested in running. There was one in Akwa Ibom, there's one in Kwara.
One in Akwa Ibom, particularly Iboro too. I remember that vividly. Up until now, he still holds that position in terms of his membership to the AAC. And that's why I was going to pose my next question. Have there been any...
Who holds position? No, hold on. Who holds position at what?
parading himself as an AAC member, Iboro too, in Akwa Ibom. Have there been any
No, no, see,
litigations?
Listen, I was in Akwa Ibom. I know Iboro too. Iboro was expelled from the party. He took the party to court, Federal High Court in Akwa Ibom. I mean, the High Court in Akwa Ibom, and then the judge gave a very brilliant decision. The party has a right. If you can't abide by the rules of the party, check out. They drove you. You are no longer a member of the party. If he continues to do that, then the party will go a step further to take actions against him for impersonation. And the state chairman reported same to me, and he's on alert. We were informed of his plans to endorse the governor who defected to the APC. All Progressive Congress from the PDP. Yes. So but I would, after this show, even whilst we're doing this, I can send you details of his expulsion and the decisions by the court. And so he's no longer a member of the party. And like I told you, he was the ringleader at the time. About 7 of them were expelled from the party. Yes. And some of them took us to court, and the court decided that the party has a right to take decisions against you. And the way the party is structured, if the state chapter takes actions against you and you are not very pleased with the situation, you appeal to the NWC. He never did. And if the NWC endorse or disapprove of what the state chapter did, if they endorse it, you can take it up to the convention or up to the NEC and then the convention. That never happened. So Iboro Otu, Ray Ekene, and a few others, like 7 of them, were expelled from the party, and the party had a right to do that. So they're not members of our party.
Well, Mr. Agu, thanks for putting that record straight this morning on the program. Just before we let you go, we have a little less than 2 minutes to do so. There is a widespread notion that the 2027 elections would be APC versus Nigerians, and versus Nigerians is a statement that leaves us devoid of any political party Nigerians would be looking as the popular votes to cast their votes in 2027. What's your take on that notion, and do you think that the AAC might be that choice for Nigerians?
See, I didn't get your name.
My name is Beto.
I'm sure Brian. You would relate.
Beto.
Oh,
Beto
fantastic!
Brian.
Now, see what the APC seems to be trying to do by their actions so far is that the 2027 general election is already settled. But I tell you, we are as bones sat horizontally in their throats. That's not what it is. Nigerians will decide. It will be their poor showing and governance over the last 2 years against the options being presented. And let's go back. I was hoping, because the topic that was sent to me to discuss was the ADC coalition, and then the fact that LP gave 24 hours or 48 hours for Peter Obi to step aside for going to join, attend the meeting of the coalition. That's what I was hoping to discuss. But then the APC, by what they are doing, are trying to tell Nigerians that the next election is a walkover. See, that is not what it is. They would have the APC to contend with, and we are also aware that there's already fire on the mountain in the ADC, and that God help them if they get to the next election intact. But we are not going anywhere. We're going to participate, and then with the coalition we're building, things would happen. Thank you.
Well, Mr. Ina Okopi, we must appreciate you. I'm hoping that the next time we have this conversation, we'll talk more on the stance of the coalition. You have put it on record here that the AAC is not currently a part of the ADC coalition, and that oppressed Nigerians can choose your platform to voice and ventilate their grievances. Thank you.
Thank you very much.